Man, it's time for Spear Week, bro. We got UFC 306 headlined by O'Malley and Dvalishvili. UFC Noche, Noche UFC, man. This card's been talked about for a long time now, and it is upon us. And we're gonna tell you how to make some money while you watch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coming off a hot week. Last week I had if I can do math in my head real fast. Uh, I can't. Oh, 194% return on my money, something like that.
Yeah,
188%. 188%.
yeah. I think I was just 50%. I think it came up like 4 units, but I arrived there in a fun way, if that makes sense. So I'll take it. I'll
True.
take it. But yeah, man. So we're both hot this week. A lot, and it's only 10 fights, so we really and really, I only have a couple of no bets this week. I feel like almost every fight I have like a take worth giving. So
For sure, I agree with you. There's only probably two. There's only I probably have a take on all of them, and I think the no bets aren't from disinterest. I think they might be from me not really knowing who's gonna win. I think there's one or two of those fights.
for sure, man. We'll dive into this main event. Obviously Sean O'Malley taking on Merab Dvalishvili. And this is one that I've kind of come full circle on. Like there was a time maybe about 6 months ago where I thought that Merab was the guy to beat Sugar. I thought that if you could like build a video game character to take on Sugar's style, it would be Merab. And this, the more I think about it, I couldn't disagree with my old self more. I think who have we seen hold down Sugar and get Sugar down? You could argue Marab's a better teammate. Aljo couldn't do it. I think there's a lot of indicators pointing to Sugar Sean here. My official pick, Sean, 2 stars. And last time I checked, he was only minus 140. So love the value there.
Yeah, I do as well. I'm definitely considering putting O'Malley on the parlay this week. To be honest with you, I think
Ooh.
I think the value is there. I also have him as two
Mhm.
stars, but I'd be lying if I wasn't, or I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to add a third there. I think your breakdown was really good. I think the key points that O'Malley dominates in any given fight in the weight class throughout his career have been footwork, distance control, and power. He almost always wins those. I guess really distance control is a mixture of his footwork and his length or reach. However you want to look at it, distance control and power, his top two assets. For Merab, it's going to be probably chin and cardio, in my opinion. Maybe wrestling, you could just say outright wrestling, but I think a lot of that is cardio and pace. Merab definitely has staff. I mean, that's, I think, widely known now. I think that hurts his cardio. As far as chin, I haven't seen anyone be able to withstand O'Malley's power throughout 5 rounds, especially. I think it just in a matchup vacuum, I really like O'Malley here. And then I liked him at a even matchup. If Merab has a bad cut over his eye and staff, I really like O'Malley here.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely going to impact that camp. Yeah, 4 inch reach advantage for O'Malley. And then, like, there's the weird kind of juxtaposition where we've never seen Merab get KO'd, but we've seen him get, like, lit up and wobbled in every single fight he's ever been
Cejudo,
in.
Marlon
Yeah.
Moraes, I don't know how the ref didn't stop that fight. Like, they arguably should have bbeen stopped. I think if you're Moraes, you are arguing for that stoppage afterward.
Yeah, and I don't think that, like, you can really, like, if Henry Cejudo and borderline washed Marlon Moraes. That was like Marlon Moraes' like last ride. That was his like last
Right.
fight that he looked good in.
And I think
And
I think O'Malley has the same level of power, but actually better footwork and patience than Moraes too, and probably better
and
takedown defense.
and way bigger reach, which would allow you to think that he could like land it easier.
I
Like
couldn't agree more. Could not agree more.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Merab is not a southpaw, which favors into O'Malley having an orthodox versus orthodox matchup here.
When like man, Merab really is just like a spammer. Like I feel like he doesn't really set shit up. He doesn't even really finish shit well. It's like you don't get 16 takedowns in a fight if you're that good at takedowns, or you don't
Or
have
keeping
16
them
takedown
down.
attempts. That's what I meant. You don't get 16 takedown attempts in a fight, or however many it was, if you're that good at finishing takedowns, right? I mean, you're the wrestler here, but that sounds like it kind of
For
makes sense,
me,
right?
for
Like,
me, O'Malley fights most alike. If I had to pick a fighter, Israel Adesanya, right? Like, just
Hmm.
is able to use his length to defend takedowns, control the distance, and has great power when he lands on counter shots, especially. Um,
Yeah, man.
all that being said,
It's
yeah,
like,
I think it's and with Merab having the staff and the big cut over his eye, like it's kind of the machinations are there for O'Malley to really get a finish here.
see, and I was thinking about that. I think if the O'Malley number was bigger, I'd go prop fishing. But at
Same.
minus 140, I don't
Minus
think the
130.
incentive is. Oh, it's gotten even better. At minus 130, I just don't see the incentive to like get greedy and hunt value there. At minus 130, that's, I mean, whether it's a straight bet or a parlay juicer, I think I'm cool with that. So, yeah, I don't think you're going to get any O'Malley props from me this week. But, yeah, I mean, we can keep it pushing here. Co-main event, another title fight. You got Valentina Shevchenko, Alexa Grasso, their third matchup. We both scored the last one for Shevchenko. It ended up being a draw because of a bullshit 10-8.
That 10-8 was wild.
So Grasso retains the belt. What are the odds on this one?
So right now we are looking at Alexa Grasso being, I guess we'll go ESPN since that's what we've been going with. Alexa Grasso minus 140, Valentina plus 120.
Shevchenko possible dog of the week. I mean, I don't want to lock that in. I got a couple of nominees, but because there's no dogs that I straight up love, but this is one of my only no bets.
I have Shevchenko
because,
1 star, so for me it was a no bet as well, if that makes sense. Like I don't bet 1 stars, so.
But at plus 120, if I'm hunting for a dog in the dog of the week segment, I mean, we may come full circle. I feel you because it's kind of a coin flip, not really a bullish take. But if you're going to give me plus 120, really the only reason why I'm not Shevchenko 1 star or maybe even Shevchenko 2 star is her age, 36 years old. Seems to affect the women less than the men, but it's not nothing. You know what I mean? Like how many? Like if I was going to tell you over under 3 more fights in Shevchenko's career, you're taking the under, right? Like,
and if I told you that they were 1-1 in their matchups and this was their rubber match, you might be more inclined then to take the younger girl still in that case, if that made sense. You know what I mean? Because maybe that was Valentina's best shot was the last fight.
Yeah, maybe that was the last stand. So don't love it, but I don't love my other dog nominees either. So when it comes to dog of the week, it's going to be an interesting little conversation we have. But I mean, I'm going to nominate her. It's a no bet as far as money line. Trying to think of who I'm going to take on verdict. Take Shevchenko on verdict.
What do you think the likely outcome here is? Decision?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick one gun to my head, I'd say decision.
So right now, over under is going to be set at 4.5. Under looking like plus 160. Over 4.5 looking like minus 205.
That's about how I feel. I think it's
too.
likely to go to a decision.
I think so too. I mean, if you're really trying to juice a dog, I guess you'd take Shevchenko decision at plus 180. But I think plus 120 is just fine.
Agreed.
I just don't see her finishing Grasso, I guess, because she hasn't yet. So
10 rounds, right? Or 9 rounds or whatever.
Whatever it was, 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5 rounds. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I feel it, man. So, I think we're both like a slight Shevchenko tilt or shade, but really no bullish take on this fight.
100%.
Kind of ready for this chapter to be over because there's so many flyweight contenders.
It's starting to feel like it's feeling like Moreno Figueiredo, if that makes sense. Same weight, just different gender.
For sure, because you got Fiora waiting in the wings. Hell, we got Natalia Silva waiting in the wings now after that Andrade win. I mean, Blanchfield's still out there lurking around. I mean, Rose Namajunas. It's like there's so many fresh. Yeah, there's so many fresh fights that I'm kind of over this. And like the tough season wasn't like exciting enough to like care more or like it made me like more excited to watch it. But I'm glad that we're finally gonna hopefully put a bow on this. But man, we'll keep it pushing to a fight that I'm stoked for, but also nervous about, man. Like I just don't have confidence that Ortega's gonna make weight or show up.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab behind you if you want to give the backstory as to why this is taking place now rather than UFC whatever it was back in the summer 304. Fair to explain, I think.
fight has already been booked once, and Ortega couldn't slash refused to make the weight. That's whenever the famous Dan Ige 4-hour notice situation happened, which was awesome. Don't get me wrong, but in all of his interviews, Ortega just talks about wanting to go to 55. I just like this is going to be weird here because I'm a huge Lopez guy, but it's almost like I'm fading Ortega's like want to slash his weight cut slash like his how invested he is. He seems kind of checked out, if you ask me.
I couldn't agree with you more. I have Lopez as 3 stars here. This is me standing true to... Wow, we're lockstep all 3 of these so far. That's scary. That's me being true to our original take once Ortega pulled out, though, and asked for the weight to be moved up and pulled out night of the fight. And then once I saw Lopez re-agreed to fight another 10 pounds up and same night in 4 hours notice against Ige, right there, everything was said that needed to be said. One guy is an absolute dog. One guy is really, really near the end of his rope, in my opinion. Give me Diego Lopez here. Minus 180 is a steal. He's on my parlay.
I can't believe it's minus 180. I'm really hyped on that number, and I'll let the cat out of the bag on our prop segment. Lopez by KO at plus 220 is getting a unit. I don't give a fuck. Come hell or high water, I'm getting a unit on Lopez by KO at plus 320. I mean, that's the path to victory. I mean, I don't think this is going the distance, and Ortega's going to be hard to sub. I think Lopez by KO. I mean, lock is a bold term, but I'm getting ready to puff my chest out. I'm feeling bullish on the Lopez by KO. I'm going to kind of stand on business on that one.
You know, I don't hate it. The only thing I'd say is that Lopez by decision plus 225 isn't terrible when you look at how hard it is to finish Brian Ortega. I know Yair did it.
I got a counter to that. I mean, he's had 3 losses, and 2 of them are by KO. It's like basically like Ortega's path to
okay,
L.
But one's a doctor stoppage for a cut in 4 rounds, 20 minutes with Max Holloway, and then the other one is where his shoulder comes out of place.
True.
So neither of those are him actually getting finished, and neither are 15 minutes.
Push back. I don't view doctor stoppages as really like an asterisk, really. Like that's
but it's
damage
him,
from strikes causing a fight to stop. But I'm saying if Lopez does it, he'll get the stoppage too.
Lopez doesn't have the same volume, and it took Max Holloway 20 minutes to do that.
Lopez does have something that Max doesn't have, which is like
power, crazy power,
starch. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Lopez by decision is probably where I'll go with the units. Just plus 225. I love it.
Yeah, we'll differ on that one. But the key takeaway here: throw Lopez on your parlay at minus 180, and you know, real good about it. You know, take ride with Harrison, ride with me on our method of victory. We'll have a little homie sweat on that one, and it'll be good fun. But yeah, I think we both love Lopez here. We're both fading Ortega's kind of like want to / will / commitment to his career,
and also
like all of that.
One fight in 2 years. I don't love that.
When Lopez like lives, breathes MMA. Like when he's not training, he's training others. When he's not doing that, he's recovering. Not doing that, he's promoting his career. Like he's all in. And Ortega couldn't be the opposite. Ortega's aloof, checked out, almost seems like a part-time fighter at this point.
And also, Lopez's whole gym has been in camp for this event with Shevchenko, and there's Irina Aldana also. So it's like, I don't know. I just really, really, really like. I'll let the cat out of the bag too. I also like Aldana a lot for the same reason that I think this camp is locked in right now.
It's not quite as much of a Fighting Nerds like ride, but it's like right below it. Like it's probably my second favorite gym right now behind Fighting Nerds. Like no, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm with you, brother. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep it pushing, man. This is another one that I'm like, this might be my most bullish pick of the whole night. I'm all over Zellhuber. Rebowicz has some potential, and that Terrence McKinney finish was nice. This is a whole nother level. I've been high on Zellhuber for a while. He's one of my favorite not ranked lightweights. Like if there was a tournament of not unranked lightweights, like I would probably favor Zellhuber. I have Zellhuber power ranked 17 to that point, right between Joel Alvarez and Mauricio Hoopy. I have him above Jalen Turner. Like, I am in on the Zellhuber hype train. I'm a believer. Rebowicz is a good fighter. If Rebowicz was fighting a lower guy than Zellhuber, I'd be all in. So with that being said, give me Zellhuber 4 stars.
Ooh, me too. I already have it written.
I'm all over it. Like I said, it's not even a slight against Rebowicz. Like the
It's
last
not.
one, I wasn't too kind to Ortega. I'm kind of fading him. This isn't necessarily a Rebowicz fade. I think Rebowicz goes on to have a good career after this fight. And this may be a good moment in his career for him to level up. And this will be a loss that ages well for him. And maybe he learns a lot from it. But, man, Zellhuber ain't no Terrence McKinney.
Let me just throw in some extra juice on this. Okay, Zellhuber minus 235, right? I love it. Give me 4 stars. He is the centerpiece of my parlay, right? Now, hear me out. Rebowicz never been finished. Very tough guy.
I know.
Has
Me
an
too.
8-inch reach disadvantage, so it plays for Zellhuber's. And also Zellhuber Extreme Couture, Eric Nixick, very game plan based fighting coach. Stay on the outside, pick him apart, beat him up. By decision, plus 130.
I know. I have it in my notes.
It's probably my prop of the week, if I'm being honest. Just because I think Zellhuber by decision is the exact way this fight goes. I can see him getting the TKO, but I think that is far, far away from how many times decision would hit out of 10 before the KO.
We are seeing these things lockstep, bro. Copy paste everything you just said. Also, I'm just going to pull up Zellhuber's stats real quick to see his percentage. Let's see here. So 33% of his wins are by decision, but that's because whenever he was on the regional scene, he was just crushing cans. In the UFC, he's gone to a lot of decision. Contender Series, decision. His only UFC L to Trey Ogden, decision.
His
Lando
only
Venata,
finish
decision.
is Christos Trash Yagos. A year ago to the day almost.
Subs. So he's a very strategic, rangy fighter. I love the by decision.
The Prado matchup reminds me so much of Rebowicz. I think Rebowicz is better than Prado, but I think it's going to be the same size matchup as far as height and reach. And I also think it's going to be a striking affair, the same it was with Prado, which I think means Zellhuber stands on the outside, picks him apart. I think Zellhuber eats a couple shots here and there, could even see a 29-28, but I mostly am leaning towards 30-27 dominant decision for Zellhuber.
I can't believe the numbers minus 235 on the money line. Like, I would have probably set this at like 420.
I think they probably learned with their when the last one they did that against I think against Prado, wasn't he like minus 550? Like, it was something crazy. I think they didn't get any action when they did that, so I think they set the line lower this time just to get action.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it, my friend. That's crazy. Yeah, not a lot of banter back and forth. Oh, and there's one last little bow on it. The reason how I write up 4 stars. Zellhuber power ranked 17. Rebowicz power ranked 40. Which 40 sounds low, but at lightweight, I mean, there's like...
That's respectable.
Decent,
that's a super respectable roster spot. Zellhuber's just in the cut of cloth that's high level.
I agree more, bro. Yeah, man. I'm excited for that one. Man, this next one is a weird one, bro, because, like, I'm going to kind of, like, go against my own power rankings here. I got Ode Osborne power rank 23. I got Ronaldo Rodriguez at 38. Surprise, surprise. I'm saying this is a no bet. I cannot trust Ode Osborne, but also this is a huge jump for Rodriguez. I think this is only his second UFC fight, and his first fight was against the Total Can, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of don't have a bullish take. My only bullish take is that I'm kind of disagreeing with my own power rankings here. My power rankings scream Ode Osborne, but when it came time to actually pull the trigger on Ode Osborne, I couldn't do it, bro. He's got finished in 3 of his last 4 fights. He seems to be trending downwards.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ronaldo Rodriguez is the guy to do it, but as far as putting money on Ode Osborne, that's one that I would regret at the end of the night. Like, if Ode Osborne kills a parlay or something, I'm going to be like, why did you bet on this fucking guy?
I agree with you, but hear me out. Just hear me out here. The reach you think would be a problem, considering Ode Osborne has a 6.5-inch reach advantage. But, like, against Tyson Nam, he also had a big reach advantage. He got KO'd. Against Almabayev,
Yeah.
he had a good reach advantage. He got subbed. Just got subbed by João Filho. Honestly, when I think about Ronaldo Rodriguez, he fought Dennis Bondar, who we didn't think anything of it because, first fight in the UFC, only fight in the UFC that we've seen. Since we've seen Dennis Bondar fight 3 times, right? Hernandez, Malcolm Gordon, and Rodriguez. I don't love Bondar, but I don't think he's terrible, if that makes sense. Like, even with 3 losses, I don't think it's like just a nothing win. Whereas I think Osborne's losses continue to get worse. I do like Ronaldo Rodriguez here, minus 140, 1 star, but I refuse to bet it just because it's UFC vet versus a guy in the second fight. So I won't bet it for that. But 25-year-old flyweight versus 32-year-old flyweight, I do like that for the 25-year-old.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Like if I was gonna bet on anybody, it probably would be Ronaldo, but just the small sample size. I hate everything about it.
Yeah.
I honestly hate this matchmaking. I think there was other fun fights they could have made. Like hell, they should have done not Tyson M. They should have done Josh Van versus Osborne and Shirez versus Ronaldo. That would have made way more sense to me.
But they didn't want the Mexicans to fight each other.
I do. But
so do
no,
probably
man,
the Mexicans in attendance. What are we talking about? They don't care.
I just hate the matchmaking here. Like, I don't really understand what they're really trying to accomplish. Like at this point, does getting a win over Ode Osborne do a ton for Ronaldo's career? I mean, maybe not. And then Ode Osborne, are they trying to like feed him like a winnable fight? Because they did kind of hype him up, and he's just been getting.
Rodriguez, finished. Not for nothing, Rodriguez has a huge TikTok following because he does like a bunch of TikTok videos and shit. So I could see him having this main card opener solely based on the fact that they think he's going to add value to the pay-per-view subscriber numbers.
Okay, fair enough. Like I said, this fight's just kind of a nothing burger to me. I don't like it as a bettor. I don't really like it as a fan. I'm just kind of on this fight. But whatever, it's one fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think based on, like, if you were really trying to open up the main card with a heater, like you do Torres, Bahamondes, but they clearly still have that on the prelims, I'm just saying that there has to be a reason. That's the only thing I can think of. I know that you're going to keep Aldana as the prelim main event so that people can see it and be sold to, like, you got to have a good fight to in the prelims. That being said, Manuel Torres and Bahamondes, that fight's going to be a finish. We'll get to it very shortly, but, like...
I love that fight. See, I feel the exact... I love that matchmaking.
Yeah. No, me too. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And, like, it would be great to open the main card. But, that being said, I say we get to the prelim closing fight, the featured prelim.
Featured prelim. Irene Aldana taking on Dumont. I see this one as basically like pretty close to Vegas. Vegas has this minus 120,
minus
Aldana,
110 both ways right now.
Coin flip, and that's kind of how I see it. I mean, my power rankings align with that perfectly. I have Aldana at 4 and Dumont at 5. But I got kind of a spicy take here. I really don't like the money line bet. I would rather bet Aldana by KO. When I was looking yesterday, that number wasn't out yet. Yeah. I
plus
I would
750.
I would rather take that sprinkle. And I just the money line. It's whatever. It's perfect matchmaking, very evenly matched. But just listen to these stats as far as like path to victory here. Aldana. Let's see here. Aldana, 53% of her wins by KO. She has a knockout, even though it was the up kick to a liver, still a knockout over Chason. Knockout over Yana Santos, which at the time, Yana Santos has looked good since then, so I think that's aging kind of well. Knockout of Caitlin Vieira. That's aging very well. Like I think if she can knock out those 3 girls, she could knock out Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont actually reminds me of Macy Chiasson a lot.
I agree with that, but I just think that Chasson getting knocked out with the body kick, like, that ain't going to happen. That's lightning in a bottle.
But Aldana has knocked out, like, Caitlin Vieira is a high-level bantamweight. Like, she has knocked out other high-level bantamweights.
I think Dumont's really solid, like, super hard to finish. Her only KO TK loss is almost 5 years ago to Megan Anderson at 145, and Megan Anderson's huge for even 145, so...
Okay, but I thought about that. I factored that in. what Megan Anderson like has in size, Aldana
Has in technique.
is that with like being a way better boxer than both of them.
For sure.
Like coming from a boxing heavy gym, boxing heavy style.
I'll
I've
be
shown
honest.
the ability to put out girls.
This is a fight where I have Aldana 2 stars, and at -110, I'm almost inclined to bet this just as a straight.
Yeah, I feel it. I think this is coming from the guy who took Andrade by KO.
Well, like, let me ask you, what are Norman Dumont's paths to victory here? Because I'm just saying, money line at a coin flip, I don't really see Dumont. I mean, snoozing it on the cage, maybe. I don't know if she can do that for 10 minutes.
1,000%. That's all it is.
I don't know if she can do that to a boxer with good footwork.
I agree. I think that if Aldana starts like landing clean shots on
I think Dumont shells up and starts getting eaten alive.
That could result in a TKO. Like,
and if
I'm
Dumont
not saying
survives decision, but I'm just saying, like, I see Aldana winning 8 out of 10 fights.
See, I see that. I think that's
7
where
out of 10, 8 out of 10. I don't see it 5 out of 10.
6. I may split the difference and go 6. But like I said, of those 6, I think like 4 of those would be KOs. I think that. I mean, if I throw one unit on a plus 750 and it doesn't hit, I'm not gonna like cry in my Cheerios. You know what I'm saying? I just think that's a sprinkle that I'm willing to flirt with. I'm
amazed Aldana opened as such a big dog. She opened at plus 110 for Caesars.
She's -110. Yeah, I'll say this: if I don't plus 110, Aldana would have been my dog of the week for sure.
Yeah,
1,000%.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I will love to see the updated odds, but I will say one bet jumped it from plus 115 to -105 when the line debuted. So someone dumped a fat bet to start on Aldana and got that number we're talking about. I like Aldana. I might bet her as just a straight, not a dog, but just a chest out pick 'em.
Dumont's wins, man. They're dog shit. Aspen Ladd, Danielle Wolf. Hellhouse is nice, but Chelsea Chandler aging terrible.
The split with Chason was boring as fuck. I remember that fight. It was terrible.
Jermaine Durandamy is like 43 or 42 or some shit. I'll take Aldana's wins over Dumont's wins any day of the week. But we can keep it pushing. I thought that was a good little breakdown there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this Torres.
Let's go, baby. I love this fight.
As a fan, better. This is a no bet for me unless you can sway me. I have Bahamondes 31, Torres 35. Like they're in the exact same tier. Love the matchmaking. Wait to watch it as a fan. This is going to be a treat for the people in attendance. As far as picking a winner, I think I'll pick Bahamondes on verdict. I just don't feel really convicted. I don't know. I'm not feeling very bullish. Floor is yours, my friend. I don't know. Maybe you can sway me.
Man, I love Manuel Torres here. I have him technically 2.5. I guess 3 stars, I'll say. Yeah. He is flatlining dudes in the UFC. The sub he got on Chris Duncan was after he body suplexed him like chest to chest and slammed him on his head. And then what was that, an armbar, I believe?
He hasn't seen a second round.
No, he hasn't seen the 4th minute.
2019. Oh, God.
Yeah, no, this fight, for me, is Torres by KO plus 250 and under. Bahamondes gets hit. He eats bombs. He just has a good chin and big range. Well, guess what? Torres is an absolute fucking dog.
Yeah, I just say, we haven't seen him get knocked out.
And if you're going to bet Bahamondes, just hear me out. Bahamondes by sub. It's the only way Torres has lost both times in his career by sub. Bahamondes not really a sub artist, though. I just think Ludovic Klein is a way worse version of Torres, and he beat the shit out of Bahamondes.
See, I'm pretty high on Ludovic Klein. I like Klein.
But I think Torres is better than Klein. I'll be honest, just straight up, skill for
Well,
skill.
because Klein dropped down to 45, right? I
Right, and
believe.
Torres is
Yeah.
huge for 55. Like, he looks almost like Drickus in the octagon against other 55ers, if that makes sense. Like, he's just
No,
huge,
yeah.
upper body, swolled up, 29 years old. Dude, give me Manuel Torres.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get where you're coming from. You don't feel anything about like the huge jump in competition. Like, you don't think going from Mota and Chris Duncan to Bahamondes is just like an astronomical leap. Like I
Let me
do.
ask you
Like in my
this.
power rankings, that's like a leap of like 40 spots.
Let me ask you this. You have Zellhuber at 17, right? Well, Torres finished Yagos in half the time Zellhuber did. And that's Yagos' last two fights. So I'm just saying, Chael's MMA math here. I think Torres, he might, like, the loss to, is it a loss to, or that's Bahamondes has a loss to Klein. But,
Torres undefeated in the UFC, so I feel
yeah,
you. But it's 2-0, and it's against basically Can.
But Nicholas Mota had a good chin. Frank Camacho had a good chin. Both of them got starched. Chris Duncan, we thought was going to outstrike him. He got slammed on his head and subbed. Torres just bullying
this, like,
dudes.
Bahamondes clean a lot different than hitting Chris Duncan clean.
The way I recall the Ludovic Klein fight pretty well because we both talked about how it was Klein throwing these big, long 4 to 6 punch combos and landing on the 4, 5, and 6 on Bahamondes because he would establish the range, dodge the first 3, wasn't able to get out from those. Well, I think with Manuel Torres' like bruiser blitzer style, that's trouble for Bahamondes. If he can't go left, right, and just goes backwards, he's getting pressed to the fence and flatlined.
Hey man, you know, like I said, I guess I'll shut up because like I have it as a no bet. You feel strongly about it, so you know what I mean. I kind of would be hypocrite to really die on this hill. So no, I feel you. I'm hearing what you're saying.
I think
I don't think I'm gonna take it in red, but
the other thing I love though is that it's minus 120. If it was minus 190, I might just think like, yeah, that's probably what it should be. I think minus 120 is I'm stealing from the bank here.
minus 120 for Torres.
Yeah.
So what Bahamondes is what plus 110?
Plus 100.
Okay, that's interesting. Bahamondes was one of my potential dogs of the week. So I got very, very similar to Shevchenko Grasso. I had it as kind of like a no bet, but on a card where I'm scraping for dogs. But so I already know you're not going to co-sign that one. So you would, as a dog, you'd rather bet Shevchenko than Bahamondes?
As a dog, yes, just because, well, maybe not. I don't know. Bahamondes opened at like minus 140, so Vegas liked him a lot more at opening night.
Yeah,
I think Torres is getting slept on. I'm personally just a coal in the train of Torres guy.
No, Torres is a motherfucker.
Like I think he's on the rise quick, and I think this fight is like another jump up. And also, just put it out there. He's the Mexican against a Chilean. We're not celebrating Chilean Independence Day.
Well, and one other thing that I'll say is like Bahamondes will kind of Jalen Turner a fight away or a round away. Like
literally.
Yeah. Like he will.
And I think if you do that against Torres, you get finished.
Like I remember when I was making my picks, I was like, oh, Bahamondes like makes me nervous. Like
yeah,
he makes some
I don't
decisions.
feel confident betting on him, but I do feel confident betting on the guy that hasn't seen the 4th minute of a round.
Well, and then I'll ask you the second question because I forgot to ask it a second ago. We were on this fight. You'd rather bet Shevchenko than O'Day Osborne as well? I imagine, right?
Yeah. Once again, it's just I can at least feel good about betting my money on Shevchenko.
Totally, you're betting on a world-class fighter as opposed to somebody sus as fuck. Yeah. All right, well, I think that locks in my dog of the week. A little spoiler alert, but we'll keep it pushing here to another 4-star bullish take. Although this one's less cool because it has a huge money line, so I'm not really saying anything special here. Yasmin Howard, 4 stars over Souza. I have Howard, power rank 19. I have Souza, power rank 34, which that's a wider gap in the women's division because they're less deep. Last time I checked, it was minus 475. Howard, what's this sitting at?
Minus 550 now.
Minus 550. So really getting too big to bet at this point, at least for a guy with my bankroll. Is the Howard by KO number out?
It might be. Bet Rivers had a lot of early odds out. Shout out to them. Looks like they do Haragi by KO. Going to be somewhere around plus 340.
I hate that. Because if you're getting a minus 550, but the KO is plus 340, like minus 550 should be a finish. If you look, Howard has a lot of KOs. Not my favorite prop of the week, but instead of betting minus 550, I'd rather bet the KO at plus 340. So just trying to hunt value for our viewers there.
I feel it. This is a fight where, honestly, when I read the names, no odds, I kind of thought to myself, like, I just hate this fight. As as far as a technical breakdown, Caitlin Souza got absolutely dog walked by Karine Silva. I'm not saying that's embarrassing by any means, but then your decision victory over Marnik Khan, that ain't doing a lot for me. Whereas Haragi, I recall her debut fight in the UFC against Yasmin Lucindo and thinking, oh, both these girls are going to be good. And both those girls are good, and Caitlin Souza is not. I love Haragi here, kind of an unbettable number, so I technically no bet, had his 3 stars.
Yeah, I mean, she has the ground and pound knockout over Estela Nunes, who I would argue Estela Nunes is better than Souza.
Right.
And then 64% of her wins are by KO. Granted, a lot of that was on the local scene, so take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I'm not saying like take that Harari by KO to the bank. However, I like it way more than the money line. And if you have an extra unit, if you're just trying to have a little fun, have some prop bets, I don't hate it. I don't hate the by KO. So just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, as far as pick goes, 4 stars. Don't love the matchmaking here.
I honestly, as far as matchmaking goes, I hate the next fight. And I know we talked about it earlier, but I don't love it really for either guy. I mean, if you want to keep it pushing, we can. It's Edgar Shirez taking on Joshua Van. Joshua Van, let's see, minus 235. Edgar Shirez plus 190. I'm just kind of in a spot where, I mean, I hate that this is 8 weeks from a KO for Van, where he was kind of getting beat around. So I don't feel confident in putting the 235 on a parlay. However, I do think he should win this fight without too much trouble. So I'm in a weird spot as far as a bettor.
Well, I'm in a weird spot as a bettor just because it's that classic striker versus grappler matchup. Like if Edgar starts scrambling and getting backs or attacking like leg lock, shit like that, like I don't know how at 22 years old, I don't know how high level, how well-rounded Van's grappling really is. But I mean, if they're on the feet, I don't think it's close at all. Like I think Van should be able to tune up Shirez on the feet.
Right. It's almost a question of like, and here's what I think is like the Charles Johnson matchup, not dissimilar from Edgar Shirez in the sense that Shirez is much longer, has a much longer reach, is going to mix in a lot of grappling. I don't know that his striking is as good as Charles Johnson's. So I think that means it's harder interest for him into the takedowns. For sure isn't, right? So then I think harder for him to create these entries into the takedowns because Charles Johnson was finding success striking, then was able to mix the grappling because the striking success was coming, right? I think Shirez is going to struggle to get any striking success here, meaning that the grappling is going to be harder to force. I think Joshua Van should win this fight. If I had to throw a 5th leg on a parlay, like you told me you have to have a 5-leg parlay, I could see him sneaking his way in there as that 5th leg. It's just I don't know.
What's your stars? What's your stars?
I have Van 2 stars, and I want it to be 3. The 8 weeks
Van
from the
3.
KO is just tough for me.
It would be tough for me if he was fighting a guy that got KO. Yeah.
I could probably go 3 stars just for that, because like if that is my big drawback, it's like why would I have that against a guy that doesn't have great striking?
I feel it. We'll keep it pushing here to the curtain jerkers. Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Orochi Lang. This is another one where I got a bullish take on, but it's also like, Rosas Jr., I have him 4 stars over Orochi Lang. I got him power ranked 50. I got Orochi Lang power ranked 71. So you got like a 21 spot gap there. I I don't think I would have it at minus 800 even with my 4-star. I mean, I would have it maybe minus 400, which is still a lot, but minus 800 is insane. Or is it still that high?
Yeah, minus 850. I think the highest I would go with Raul Rosas here and be like, yeah, I can still bet it. Probably minus 500 would be the cut, just because I think that's where the value is just lost. Oh, minus 950 now. Sorry.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. So people are still betting it. God, gross. Thirsty ass motherfucker.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if that is because he is who he is, right? So big social media personality. That all being said, Raul Rosas Jr. by submission minus 160. I mean, I hate minus money on a prop, but I am just gonna say that if you wanted a way to bet minus 950, he's just a takedown lord, and then he drops the ground and pound until he grabs the neck and submits. And he's a kid, so he's not gonna not do that until he can't. And I think he can to a Richie Lang. So I think the sub is I would call it free money, but minus 165 isn't really great for calling anything free money.
Well, and I could see a possibility of a decision here. I really could. Raul Rosas isn't the most dangerous guy. I know he gets a reputation as a submission guy, but how many actual submissions in the UFC does he have? I think it's only one, maybe two. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, but it's not like he's just out here notching everyone's neck. Let's see here.
Jay Perrin and Tercios.
Yeah, the Tercios sub is kind of impressive because Tercios fancies himself a grappler.
And then he KO'd Terrence Mitchell before he could grapple him. That was 54 seconds. So, hard to hate on him not getting a sub when it's an under 1 minute knockout, As far as the C-Rod loss, he just couldn't get the takedowns to get the subs there. But, I mean, yeah, this dude's, in my opinion, stylistically.
Contender Series decision. Let's see. And then does Orochi Lang get subbed? No, he gets knocked out. Just by decision. Orochi Lang doesn't really get subbed. He hasn't been subbed since 2017. Never been subbed in the UFC.
Ooh, okay. So are we thinking maybe decisions here?
What's Raul Rosas by decision? That's where I would lean personally.
Plus 500. I don't hate that sprinkle
The sprinkle
at all.
monster. The sprinkle monster might
I'm
be
writing it down.
name.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Rosas by decision. You said plus 550?
Plus 500 even.
That seems sprinkleable. But yeah, that wraps up our betting breakdown segment. Now we got to assemble our parlays and get to our best bets. So as far as parlay goes, sure gonna be Zellhuber, for sure.
I think
Zellhuber and Lopez, right, are the building blocks.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see Van on there, or for me, I mean, I really like Manuel Torres, but I know you're not as sold on it.
Yeah, I don't think I can get there, especially just because I would rather have O'Malley personally. And that would be juicy as fuck. Honestly, I kind of want to look that up, what the Zellhuber, Lopez, O'Malley 3-leg, because I think the O'Malley number would juice the 3-leg to the point where you may not need to have a bunch of legs.
What is Zellhuber minus 235?
Yeah, Zellhuber at 235, Lopez at 180, and O'Malley at minus 130. I think that's going to be a pretty nice number.
Plus 292.
Plus 292? And we hit a 3-legger last week, and it's been a while since we hit anything bigger than a 3-legger, if I'm being honest. So I don't know. I may just not be greedy. I may just ride that as my parlay. Zellhuber, Lopez, O'Malley. If I had to add a 4th leg, it would probably be Van.
See, for me, I'm adding Torres, and that's giving me a plus 620. If you want to add Van, it's plus 460.
Okay. That's interesting. That's something to think about if I got an extra unit to sprinkle.
I will say this, based on current form, a guy with 4 finishes all first round versus a guy that just came off a KO loss, and I'm also getting double the money on the guy that has 4 KOs in a row. I do like Manuel Torres as a 4th leg here a lot.
I know you do, buddy. I know you do. But all right, well, let me ask you. Our Venn diagram overlaps on the 3-legger, right? Our official Beefy Boys parlay to give to the viewers the 3-legger: Zellhuber, Lopez, O'Malley, plus 292. triple your money. You know what I mean?
Also a main card parlay right there.
Card parlay, which is rare for us. Usually we're prelims hunters, snipers, but we're going with the big names this week.
So dog, I assume, has to be Shevchenko.
Shevchenko,
right?
Process of elimination, right? Like,
yeah, I would think so.
I was considering Bahamondes and I was considering Osborne, but both talked about it. Like, we feel better about putting our money on Shevchenko.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Now that gets us to props, which
so many. Some
very juicy ones.
I think I'm going to remove Hardway by KO because I think he got replaced by Rosas by decision. I think I like Rosas by decision more than I like Hardway by KO.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. I'm sure you still like the Lopez by KO. I still love him by decision.
That's my number one. Is Lopez by KO and Zellhuber by decision are getting a unit.
Zellhuber by decision is going to be mine as far as like just
let's make that our official.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Official, like, lockstep Beefy Boys prop of the week. Zellhuber by decision plus 130. Love that. And Vegas is telling you it's likely to happen. No, I'll say sprinkle of the week. I think I am going to put a unit on Aldana by KO plus 750. It's a huge number. So it's a sprinkle for a reason. Like I'm not expecting it to cash, but I see paths to it. I see the paths, and plus 750 would be fucking sweet. And then also
the Rosas Jr. by decision plus 500. I see all the paths. Like, you carved that path. It was already carved. It was like water was flowing.
I mean, he likes the sub guys, and he's fighting a guy that's never been subbed.
Sounds like a decision monster to me.
And Orochi is a tough son of a bitch. Like that. Like, he's not the most skilled guy, but he's a tough son of a bitch. He's a tough night out.
And a huge moment where I could see Rosas like blowing his wad early, not finishing him, and then just surviving out the remaining like 7 or 8 minutes that still remain and winning the fight just because he's so far ahead by that point.
Agreed. Like, potentially, like, Orochi wins the third round, but he's down two.
For sure.
Yeah. I can see it. So, I mean, a couple sprinkles for you. Rosas by decision, plus 500. Aldana by KO, plus 750. I love Lopez by KO, plus 320. Harrison likes Lopez by decision, plus 225.
Yep.
And then
you could honestly one unit both those and make money back either way. I'm that confident in Lopez winning this fight. That's how much I'm fading Ortega. I'll just say that to people.
Lopez is on our parlay as well. Yeah, we're heavy on Lopez this week. And then Zellhuber by decision, though, our official kind of safe play prop of the week.
I also don't hate the O'Malley by KO TKO here, just if Merab's cardio is lacking, and I do want to give a number on that, just main event, Gotta keep people searching.
Give it to him.
Yeah, so O'Malley by KO TKO plus 170 right now.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst.
Definitely not the worst.
I'll say, though, if you have one unit to bet and you get Lopez at plus 320 or O'Malley at plus 170, I think I'm still taking the Lopez personally. But is it not the worst? It's not like a bad bet. Like, if some guy at the bar sitting at the bar next to me showed me his O'Malley by KO plus 170 ticket, I wouldn't think he's like a mark. Like, I'd be like, okay, like that could hit. Like,
yeah,
cheers,
like
cheers
respect. Like, you got a live ticket right there. Like, some tickets you see and you're like, that shit ain't live. By the way, we'll wrap it up. I got to give a shout out to our man Boston Connor. Did you fucking see the parlay? What the fuck?
I don't know if I've ever been more jealous.
Me too, because I was like, damn. And he was talking about being able to bet it all in one and like try to like double it up. And I was like, the fact that you could even talk about betting $55,000 after turning $350 into $55,000, and then I was like, Pat's paying y'all well.
I hit a $50,000 bet. I'm quitting my job.
Me too. Like, I'm figuring something out. I'm taking a cool vacation, buying a new air conditioning unit for the outside of my house. We're doing big things.
No, for sure, dude. For sure, brother. But yeah, man, that wraps up Best Bets. Cannot wait for this card. Hit like and subscribe. Check us out on X at Beefy Breakdown. Still doing the Jack Della Maddalena rookie card giveaway. Nobody's claimed it. Even though multiple people have subbed and followed, nobody sent me the DM.
Yeah, you guys just got to screenshot and send it. You just got to prove you're that newest follower sub.
So follow us on X at Beefy Breakdown. Sub to this channel. Send me screenshots of both at that X account. get a free Jack Della Maddalena rookie card. I'll pay for the postage and everything. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Cannot wait for Noche UFC. Let's cash these tickets, folks.